Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be reacting to some more Angry Video Game Nerd, and it's going to be episode 186. That is right, 186 episodes. Damn, that is a lot of episodes. And yeah, we're getting close to the 200 mark, where I truly believe he's going to retire at episode 200. I think I'm going to have to start placing bets. I think we're going to have to start placing bets in the channel here. No, I think he might retire at 200. I could be wrong. You know, we could all be wrong. He might keep going on, but I'm thinking 200 is the limit for this guy, because I believe he was going to stop at episode 100, and I think it makes sense for him to stop at episode 200, and he's going to concentrate with his other material. I think that's what he's going to do with his other cinematic content. It makes sense. To sort of retire the nerd a little bit and focus on his other work. I mean, the strategy makes sense. That's what I would do if I was in his position. Because 200 is great number. It's great for compact discs to put all the episodes on Blu-rays, 4K and everything. I mean, it's perfect. It's a sweet spot. But who knows? He could continue to make more. So, yeah, time will only tell. But let's check out this video in the meantime, shall we? Alright, so this is going to be Taito Legends for the PlayStation 2. I've never seen this. I've never played this. I'm guessing it's going to be a bunch of games, like arcade games, compacted into a collection on one disc. That's my guess. It's going to be Taito Legends, and it's going to be like a bunch of Taito games, potato games, no, Taito games, I think. Maybe, or it could just be one game, but I'm thinking it's going to be multiple games. It makes sense. You know, sell it for a high price. I'll buy it for a high price, stranger. But I think it's going to be multiple games on a compact disc, and that's where they're going to be value from it, and that's why it's probably going to be expensive to buy back in the time for the PS2. It'd probably be about like $40 or something like that. But yeah, let's check out the video and see what it's all about, shall we? Let's go. It's gonna be like that Action 51 or Action 52 bullshit, whatever it was. Can't remember if it was Action 51 or 52. I think it was Action 52. Yeah, Area 51, 52.
But first, a message from our
aliens.
sponsor. All right, y'all ready for the Taito titles? Boy, that's a tongue twister, but not as twisted as having your unencrypted private data being harvested by hackers, governments, and corporations. However, ExpressVPN creates a secure tunnel between your devices and the internet, keeping your private information private. ExpressVPN can even unblock geo-restricted content.
Yep.
Since we're
I
talking
use
about
it
Japan
all
today,
the
the
time.
Rebirth of Mothra trilogy is only available on Japanese Netflix.
Damn.
So switch your location from the USA to Japan and they'll show up.
Damn.
ExpressVPN is easy to use and it's fast. Plus, at less than $7 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee, it's no wonder why ExpressVPN is the #1 rated VPN in the world.
Yeah,
Take
it's
back
pretty
your
damn
internet
good.
privacy today and find out
It's
how you can
expensive,
get 3
though.
months free by clicking
I
the
wish
link
it was only
in the
$40
description.
a
Head to
year, but, nah, it's like $80 a year.
expressvpn.com/cinemassacre. All right, it's about that time. Let's get into Taito Legends 1 and 2. But first, just a little something I want to address. With the Legend of Kage episode, I heard some people say that there was a technical problem with the game footage, that it just didn't look right or something. And that was right after I got done saying how the Nintoaster was going to look so good. So that's my bad. There were some breadcrumbs in it. That's all. Now it's perfect. This
Breadcrumbs.
Nintoaster's been
From
upgraded
all the
so
shitty
good,
games.
it can now play PS2 games. Yeah. So now, let's play Taito
Moving up
Legends
in the
1 and
world.
2 and see what's so legendary about them. Taito Legends 1 and 2 were released in 2005 and 2006 respectively on the PS2, original Xbox, and PC. This was back during a time when every video game company collectively decided to put out arcade compilations.
Yes.
Capcom had one, Midway,
Xbox had
Atari,
one.
Namco, SNK, you get the idea. It's weird that so many companies release these and almost at the same time. Now these compilations included some must-have titles, but it also came with a bunch of shit. It's like
Yes.
buying a discount candy bar where a quarter of the bar is chocolate, caramel, and peanuts, but the rest is dog shit.
Ugh.
So the first one had 29 games, including Bubble Bobble, and about 90 different versions of Space Invaders. It also had a bunch of arcade artwork and interviews with the developers. Taito Legends 2 got rid of the extras, but packed it to the brim with games. So even if you've never
Hopefully
heard of
good
Taito,
games.
you sure as hell know what the fuck Space Invaders is.
Of
Not to
course.
mention, between the 2 discs, you're getting 68 games. That is
68
some
games.
value of
Damn.
the motherfuckest. The story of Taito is kind of bizarre. They started out as a company that imported goods and made peanut and vodka vending machines.
What?
Could you imagine what a shit show it would be in the United States if we had vodka vending machines? People would be going crazy. They'd be all drunk in the streets, eating peanuts while playing Space Invaders.
They do that.
Eventually in the 70s, they got into entertainment
That's already
products
happening.
and moved to jukeboxes and, of course, arcade games. In 78, they made Space Invaders, arguably one of the biggest arcade releases of all time. It was actually blamed for a shortage of 100 yen coins in Japan, but apparently that's bullshit and the coin just wasn't produced as much in 78. Imagine that, a game being so popular it's blamed for a money shortage. Space
Damn.
Invaders was a big deal. I didn't know Space Invaders was a series. I thought it was one and done. But here, just
No,
on
there's
these 2
tons of
discs,
versions.
there's 6 different Space Invaders games.
Jesus.
Believe it or not, Space Invaders went on to have 3 sequels, continuing the story of a bunch of space crabs or whatever they are that slowly come down to the ground. Space
Jellyfish,
Invaders
I
Part
guess.
2 added color. Whoa, in color! Now you can shoot at slowly moving space crabs in about 4 different colors. When you shoot them all, you get a cutscene. It's pretty crude, but it's probably one of the first cutscenes to ever exist. I'll bet back in 79 that made someone shit their pants. Next came Return of the Invaders in
excitement of
85.
a
This is
cutscene.
the first major graphical upgrade. This is a real next-generation Space Invaders with bright, colorful graphics and varied gameplay. You weren't just shooting the same patterns as the originals. Now, enemies swirled around and did all kinds of crazy-ass
Yeah,
shit.
complex
This game
maneuvers.
is fucking hard, too. In 91, we got Majestic 12, Space Invaders Part 4. This is the one I find the most fun to play in the Space Invaders cinematic universe.
Of
They
course.
really improved on the gameplay, switching up enemy behavior in crazy ways, and the boss fights are challenging, and the
damn.
gameplay doesn't get boring too quickly. And they also added power-ups like screen-clearing bombs, powerful lasers, and time stopping. Stopping time summons motherfucking Mothra for some reason. My favorite level is cattle mutilation. Where you have to
mutilation?
save
What?
cows from flying saucers. I like how they thank you when you save them.
Yeah, the cow
Overall,
thanks.
this is definitely a great entry and a lot of fun to play.
Aliens
After this
speak
came
cow.
Space Invaders DX, a kind of enhanced version of the original. It starts with a weird text crawl. Space Invaders had a great vogue in 1978.
78.
This one has a couple different game modes, including the original and a parody game. The parody game is just Space Invaders with the sprites changed to characters from other Taito games. If you want a real parody game, get ready for Space Invaders 95, The Attack of the Lunar Loonies. This game is batshit insane. Emphasis on shit, because literally, the character I'm playing as is a blue piece of shit. Seriously, 2 of the characters are named Toilet 1 and Toilet 2. I like
Damn.
Toilet 1
What
because he's
the
apparently a Japanese-style toilet
like a
type
fish
super
block.
weapon. How in the sweet name of shit could you not choose the Japanese-style toilet type super weapon? This is the culmination of almost 20 years of Taito game
like cotton
development.
candy.
Blasting aliens as a talking blue shit coil. The graphics are super bright and colorful, but there's so much crap flying around the screen, figuratively and literally. Also, something I
Too
want to
much
address
for my
before
eyes,
there's a million
Jesus.
comments about it. Taito Legends 2 stretches the games to fit a 4:3 TV,
Yeah.
but you can change this in the options menu, which would have been nice to know before I recorded pretty much all the fucking footage for this episode. Why they wouldn't make the original aspect ratio the default setting is beyond me. It is what it is. Taito felt that their games would be better received looking stretched to fuck, I guess.
Maybe
Other than
because
Space
people
Invaders,
like it
a
modern.
lot of the earlier games feature on these compilations are either forgettable or total ass-blasting, shit-splattering diarrhea.
Blech.
There are a couple diamonds in the rough, but for some of these, we're just gonna rocket through like a turd traveling out your colon and into the bowl. Balloon
Space
Bomber is a game where you play as a cannon shooting at balloons with bombs tied to them.
Wow,
if the
how
bombs
exciting.
land, they blow apart the floor and you can't roll there anymore. The more bombs that land, the more you're limited in how far you can move.
Oh.
It's fine, but it's like lame Space Invaders with a lame gimmick. I'd rather save my fake quarter. On to another balloon game. Crazy Balloon. Yeah, crazy,
Crazy
balloon.
Balloon.
You got
How
a
crazy can it be?
balloon through a maze. It's probably the best game I've ever played in my life. I swear to... No, I'm just kidding. This game is boring as fuck. Next.
Oh,
Colony
boy.
7. It's Missile Command, but shitty. I can't play this for more than a few minutes. That's it. Next, again. Phoenix is another Space Invaders-like game, but it has weird bird aliens. It kind of feels like Galaga, but it actually
Birds in
predates it
space.
by about a year. You play as a weird crawling ship and just
Well, there were
shoot
tornado
everything.
sharks in
The
space
sound
from that movie,
is
so
awful.
Sharknado.
It's constant trilling and sirens all throughout. It gives me a headache. There's a boss fight, which is kind of cool, but the sound just makes me want to shut it the fuck off. Lunar Rescue. It's basically a
Please
mix of
insert
Lunar
coin.
Lander and Space Invaders. This one's actually kind of fun. You land on platforms and avoid meteors going
Help.
down, and then pick up a guy and fly
like
up
the
shooting
little
through
animations.
Space Invader-y type enemies. It's okay. So then there's Rime Ice, or however it's said. It's a futuristic Pac-Man. Instead of a yellow circle guy in a maze eating circles, you're a future car in a maze eating circles. You can
Maybe
grab
it's
power-ups
fuel,
to help
maybe?
get through the maze, and there's even boss fights. Also, every once in a while, you get a cutscene of this
Ooh,
guy.
that is some
I
ugly
don't know
shit
what
right
the fuck
there.
kind of drugs these game designers were on. If Rime Ice is a future Pac-Man, then the electric yo-yo is Pac-Man if he were a yo-yo. Taito were the experts at providing the perfect putrid platform for their game developers to piss their shit onto, like finding the right cat litter. I mean, you get the ideal texture, particle size, and natural herbal attractant, just so the cat can come in and say, this is a good place to piss and shit. But Jungle Hunt is a bona fide classic. I used to play this on the Atari all the time. The arcade is better graphically, but I like the Atari's music during the cannibal part better.
That's some heavy music right there.
Next we have Zookeeper. You run around bricking in animals and making sure they don't escape. The sounds in this game are hilarious. It's kind of
Hell.
weird that he bricks them in. I mean, that'd be a pretty shitty zoo. Yeah, imagine paying $20 to get into a zoo and then all the animals are behind brick walls.
That suck.
Like Roger Waters. I mean, there was the album, the Pink Floyd album, Animals. And then there was
Another.
The Wall.
Yep, I know.
Here's the most
Another brick in
metal
the wall.
fucking game so far. Civalian or Civalian? Civalian. You control the Mecha Dragon,
Oh,
a
that's Pink
robot
Floyd.
motherfucking dragon in space, blowing fire on everything. This game seems like it'd be amazing, but you die so easily. I mean, how in the hell do you make a game about a Mecha Dragon suck? That's a letdown. Plump Pop is another game that is kind of like another game, but with a twist.
That's what you say
It's
when you
Breakout or
go to the
Arkanoid,
toilet.
but
Plump.
instead of launching a ball at blocks,
Plop.
you're launching your child at flying saucers. It's a game about child endangerment in the name of saving the world from aliens?
I approve.
Imagine if the only way to save the world was to launch your only child into the fucking stratosphere
I
and
approve.
smash into UFOs. Oh my god, just for a medal of goddamn honor. Frontline. This game is basically the prelude to Akari Warriors,
Ooh.
except even
Akari.
worse. I mean, holy shit, is it bad. This might be the worst game in the entire collection. So,
What the
unlike
hell is
Akari
this?
Warriors,
Why
here
is-
you play as a
why
guy
is
who's
walking
constantly
weird?
unhinging all of his joints. His legs are all floppy and you
Yeah.
can't hit shit
What's
with his
with that?
gun.
It's like
I'd
spaghetti.
rather brush my teeth with aardvark shit. That's ground up, digested dead ants all stuck in my teeth. Fuck this game. Wild Western
Wild
is shitty
Western.
too, but not as shitty as Frontline. But it's damn close. It's hard as fuck to hit anything, and it controls like ass.
Oh, I hate
the
that
best
top
part of the game is the
eagle-eye
fucked
view.
up looking horse in the cutscene between levels.
Is
and
that
it
a
looks like it has
horse?
Homer Simpson's mouth or something.
That's weird.
The Fairyland story is a pretty bizarre game.
Should've used a
It's one
camel.
of those games where you have to clear the screen to move on like in Bubble Bobble. But here, you play as a witch who turns enemies into cakes. After a few levels, she rides around on a goofy-ass wingless dragon. Also, in the later levels,
Reminds me
there's
of Pete the
crosses and
Dragon or
shit in the
whatever it was, that
background,
movie
and you
again.
have to fight the Pope. What in
The
God's
Pope.
name is going on?
Oh, God.
Don
have
Doko
mercy.
Don is another similar game. You're a gnome in Maryland. Not sure if they meant Maryland or Maryland or the state Maryland. You clear screens with the saddest attack ever. I mean, it's hard as shit to
Are
hit
those
anything because
potatoes
your
wearing
hammer has
hats?
zero range. Yeah, I hate this game.
fruits wearing
Kiki Kai Kai is a weird one. It's almost like a shoot 'em up, but not. It's actually a prequel to the SNES game Pocky and Rocky. You play as a Japanese priestess whose family gets taken away on a boat or something, so you set out to save them. It's insanely hard and has no continues,
What's the giant cookie?
so I didn't get
What the
very
hell
far.
is that?
One thing, what is this snake? What is this snake
from-
here?
from
What is
Beetlejuice.
this thing coming out of the shrine? What is this shit? Kicks, super kicks, and Volfied are all the same game, really. You draw lines and try to clear away parts of the level while avoiding enemies and stuff that fly
yes,
around the
I
screen.
love those sort of games. I
Shack
used to
and
play
Pop
them all the
is a
time.
game that has all the enemies from Bubble Bobble. I think it's kind of like a prequel or something. You play as some kind of thing named Mr. Chakin, and your hearts get stolen. So you navigate a maze to find and release them. The game plays like garbage. You drop bombs to attack, but they kind of just do whatever they fucking feel like. Sometimes the bomb goes in front of me, and sometimes behind me. But either way, I always end up dead. Yeah, I beat one level of this piss puddle and would rather punch myself in the nutsack than play another.
Damn.
I've talked about Bubble Bobble before, and you all know the gist of it, but here's the sequel, Rainbow Islands. I'd never guess that this was a sequel to Bubble Bobble, but it says right there on the title screen, the story of Bubble Bobble 2. Well, then what about Bubble Bobble 2 on Nintendo? Oh, we'll get into that some other time. You play as a chubby kid in a lederhosen with the magical ability to throw rainbows.
Oh, yes,
What's
of
kind of
course.
cool is you could even use them to
Game
walk up to higher
graphics
platforms.
look pretty good, and
I mean,
everything
it's
looked
a
pretty
pretty
good.
competent platformer game, but it scrolls upwards instead of sideways.
Oh.
So even though it feels very
Oh, I hate
different than Bubble
upwards.
Bobble, I gotta say, it's pretty fun. Another game
Yeah, it looked
related to
pretty
Bubble
decent.
Bobble is Bust a Move again.
Bust a Move.
Later on, the Bubble Bobble Dragons would even show up in the series.
Yes.
This is one of the most addicting games in the compilation.
I know, I used to play
Each
this all the
level's
time.
background moves
I think
forward
it
in
was for the
time.
PlayStation.
You have the Big Bang or something, a caveman, and Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that thing? Oh, fuck this game. I never want to see it again. Taito did some puzzle games well, and others not so well. Plotting is garbage fire. You throw blocks at other blocks. It has weird music and bland as hell graphics. And that's it. 2-Bit and Cleopatra Fortune, on the other hand, are pretty cool Tetris-like games and are really easy to sink some time into, especially 2-Bit. You know, this is a good game. I should play it some more. But I got too many shitty games to get to. Poochie Carrot is a
Poochie
weird one. Who would have thought with a name like that? It's like Breakout, but this time you have to knock down jewels. If you miss, the jewels get lower. I died right away, then got super lucky and fucked up the computer player. But those characters in the background are so annoying. They jump around and yell and do a bunch of weird
Can't
anime
focus.
shit. It's super distracting and
Yeah.
makes the action hard to follow. But even weirder is Camel Try. Why is it called Camel Try?
Camel? So
Well,
it's got
because
camels
there's
in
a
it?
camel in the logo. Why is there a camel in the logo? I have no idea, because there's
What?
zero camels anywhere in the
fuck has
game.
this got to do with
it's all about
camels?
navigating a marble through a rotating maze. Maybe it's meant for camels to try? Oh, can camel try? Can camel try? Camel try? Taito also made some pretty decent shooting games like Battle Shark. In the arcade, the machine actually had you looking through a periscope and firing at things.
Damn.
On the TV, it's very plain. You shoot torpedoes at other subs. I mean, it's okay.
Let's get to work, Battle Shark.
Space Gun is an alien-inspired
Gun.
shooter. It's really bloody, too.
Oh,
alien
damn.
chunks
It's a
splatter
bit
on
like
the screen,
Alien.
and they explode in
The PS1.
spectacular fashion. There's people you can save, but I accidentally shoot them. They run at you while you're in the middle of a firefight, so it's
bit
their
like
own
Punch 'em
damn
Up as
fault.
well. I don't know,
Fucking
it's a bit
idiots.
all sorts
There's a
of
game here called
complex of video
Operation
games.
Wolf, where every time you fire the gun, the screen flashes in a way that's so horrible it could possibly cause seizures.
Really?
I'm not joking around, and for that reason, I'm not going to show it.
Oh.
So this makes it a rare instance where the game is actually so bad that I can't show it for safety and health reasons.
Damn, I really want to
Luckily,
see
the
it as
sequel,
well.
Operation Thunderbolt, gets rid of the flashing and is a lot more fun. The action is pretty intense. You play as a green
Yeah, you know,
beret fighting terrorists.
I'm
and
sure he
saving
didn't want to get
hostages.
sued for
They're
seizures.
as dumb as the ones in Space Gun
So, yeah,
and
he
just
had to
run
play
at
it
you
safe.
while you're firing. You
That's a
destroy
shame.
everything. Terrorists, tanks,
wanna see how
jeeps,
goddamn
boats,
bad it is.
fighter jets, and with nothing but an Uzi. I mean, damn, that fucking Uzi is a weapon of mass destruction. Nukes would look at that Uzi and say, nah, man, fuck this, I'm out of here. I like how the
You ain't
terrorists
seen
drive
shit.
tanks through the
Wait till you see
hallways of
Rambo
their office
with a machine gun.
buildings. How do they get in and out? At the end, you have to save the pilot. I think you can accidentally kill him, but I was too good and wasted the leader and flew the hostages home. all in a day's work for the Green Beret guy and his magical Super Uzi. So now from light gun shooters to shoot 'em ups, Taito had a lot of really good ones, but one that sucks crocodile cock is Tokyo, which could be a typo because it takes place in Tokyo. It's slow, boring, and when you die, you have to wait for the game to reset. And there's no continue, so if you die, that's it. The projectiles are practically invisible, so I die constantly.
This game
you can
looks
get power-ups, but they can actually be shot down.
Graphics
Just skip
look
this
terrible.
one. Gun Frontier is another weird one. It's a Wild West space shooter. Your ship is a
like
big
Firefly,
gun with
the
wings,
TV
and the
series.
bosses are giant revolvers.
No,
It
nothing
has the
like
same
but
problem
still.
as Tokyo, though. When you die, it sends you back.
Space
I got
Cowboys.
stuck at this mini-boss for a while. It's not a bad game, but fuck it anyway. Gekkarinden, Grid Seeker, and Metal Black are all three very generic shooters with different gimmicks.
Okay.
Honestly, I have trouble remembering which is which. Metal Black has a bunch of blobby things that power your laser or give you a super powerful beam that kills everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
Gekkarinden has space helicopters.
Space helicopters.
Yeah.
How can you...
Space helicopters.
How can a helicopter work when there's
Also,
no
you go back
air
in time and
space?
fight
It's
old-timey
just
planes
gravity.
with super space planes. Yeah, imagine
Maybe
being
a
in the
static shield?
1940s during World War II,
Maybe we've
and
got
a
to be
fucking
creative on
space
that.
helicopter comes out of nowhere and obliterates your whole squad. Grid Seeker tells the story of the second
Maybe it's
Persian
powered by
Gulf
Black
War that
Matter or
happened in the
something like
distant
that.
future. The distant future of 1999.
19, we're
So
past
it's
that.
sorta like they kinda almost predicted the Iraq War. Although, the big difference, there was no giant fucking octopus tank.
But that they didn't tell us.
Raystorm is a mediocre
It was
3D
probably
shooter.
classified.
It looks awesome, but it plays like the rest. Taito also included Darius Gaiden and G Darius, which are pretty popular shoot 'em ups. They're fine, I guess. They play mostly like R-Type or Gradius. G Darius is in 3D and has an attack that lets you take possession of enemy ships to use as weapons. They're pretty cool games, but what I don't understand is why the fuck all the bosses are giant fish robots.
Damn.
It's the strangest theme I've ever seen
That
in a
is a
shooter like
creepy-ass
this.
thing.
They all have weird-ass names like Ancient Dozer and Prickly Angler. I think I asked this earlier, but what were they smoking? The
Damn.
best Taito Legends shooter I played has to
Robofish.
be Exixius. Exixius? This game is a blast to play. You play as a flying dude who can turn into a ship. Difficulty is fair, so you know what? This is another one I thought would be ass, but I'm gonna have to give it a pass. Of course, this being Taito, there has to be a cutesy shooter.
Yeah, of
and here
course.
you have Insector X.
Insector
You're a cute
X.
character shooting cute bugs in cute levels.
Of course. The cuteness. Oh, yeah, I have Cheerios speed. Yeah, that's...
That being said, this game is not easy. It's one of the hardest shooters of the whole collection. I died over and over again and eventually had to just move on because I have so many other games to get to. So it may look cute, but it's a fucking asshole in disguise. From cutesy shooters to cutesy platformers, we got the New Zealand story.
Oh boy.
This is another one on the I don't know pile. Why is it the New Zealand story? Is this how New Zealand was discovered? When a walrus kidnapped a bunch of kiwi birds, one of which was smoking a cigarette? Please, if you're
it's
watching
not a
this in
cigarette,
New
that's probably a
Zealand,
joint.
what is it that I don't know? Am I missing something here?
boy.
Do kiwis shoot bows and arrows and fly around
dear
on
Lord.
geese? Do they fight giant frozen whales? And when they die, do they go to heaven like in this game? Please, let me know. Next is Liquid
That's
Kids.
Liquid Kids? What?
Kids? What the hell? Feels kind of like a sequel to New Zealand story, but now you play as this thing named Hippo. I guess it's a hippo? And you throw water balloons
it a
at stuff.
hippo?
It's another batshit drug-fueled acid trip. But you should be used to that by now. I kinda am. Bond's Adventure. In Japan, this game is called Hell Tour. Trust me, just wait. This game is fucked up. It may look like a fun, cute game, but this shit gets dark. The game starts off like every other Taito game. It's difficult but fun, and you go through the levels, fight monsters and platforming, and then you reach it. The Bloody Pond. A level that has absolutely no place in this game, or any game. There's no music, just the sound of a blood pond sloshing around. Decaying limbs stick out of the blood and eyeballs
Jesus.
bounce you around. This menacing fish thing follows
Fuck
you
me.
as you desperately seek the exit and end it as nightmare. By the way, this game was made by Kenji Kaito, the guy who produced Tomba, Ape Escape, and Shadow the Colossus.
Oh, Shadow of
he's
the
fucked up.
Colossus. Damn. Oh boy.
Now, to lighten the mood, who likes some sports?
Oh,
Hopefully you do,
boy. Sports
because
games.
Taito has sports titles.
Oh, boy.
Full disclosure, they all suck.
But
we're doing them all, so sit tight.
too.
Alpine ski,
Sorry, I hate
more
sports
like
games.
Alpine pee. Seriously, this game is ass and a half. If I could, I'd throw this game across the street into my neighbor's yard so they could be like, what the fuck is this? And then throw it away for me, because I'm not soiling my trash can with it. Continental Circus is pretty much like Pole Position, with better graphics and horrific explosions. Well, that driver is
that's pretty cool.
DED dead. Hat Trick Hero is a shitty soccer game, but it does let you play as Guile on the USA team. Nah, just kidding. But why do Japanese people think Americans have that triangle-ass hairstyle? Yeah, so this is another boring one, and oh look, I scored a goal. Good,
Nice.
I'll turn it off now.
Just need to
The only
score one
sports
goal.
title worth a shit is Great Swordsman. It's a fencing game that's pretty fun. You can attack high, medium, and low, and just try to jab your opponent. Sometimes you can even knock off their helmet. What is going on here? Do the judges all look like Adolf Hitler?
Oh, damn.
Oh my god,
yeah,
what
they
the
do,
fuck?
don't they?
The second level is
Maybe
Kendo,
Adolf
but I
Hitler was
sucked at it and
loved
died.
that sort
That
of
brings
sport.
us to the next game, which plays like a pseudo-sequel to Great Swordsman, Gladiator. You walk automatically through a dungeon, avoiding bats and fire. Eventually, you reach an enemy, and the game goes into a one-on-one fight. The point is to knock their armor off and strike the exposed part. If you win, you move on to the next one. If you lose, the guy does an awkward jig over your corpse. You fight a woman at one point
I bet
who
he's
laughs
jiggling
and
over your
celebrates
corpse.
when she knocks all your clothes off. I couldn't beat the boss. He's some guy who blows fire. I don't know. Fuck it. Next game. Thunder fucking Fox. You're a shirtless badass running into enemy lines,
Knifing
stabbing
machines.
the ever-loving shit out of anyone
How can you knife
stupid
a
enough to
machine?
fuck with you. This game's pretty awesome. You can get into vehicles and pick up a bunch of weapons like grenades, handguns, flamethrowers, and missile launchers.
Damn, that's pretty
Level 2 starts off like a side-scrolling shooter as you make your way to a flying battleship. Then when you reach the ship, you get to mow down enemies in the sky. This one's also a lot of fun. Also, I love when you get sucked out the doors of the ship. It's
Wow.
hilarious. Whoa, look at him go! Next, we have The Legend of Kage. Oh,
Oh,
no. It
Jesus.
already got its own episode. That greedy son of a bitch can go suck a shit out of an orangutan ass. Next is
that's gross.
Rastan. You're a Conan-type barbarian
Yeah, I
laying
thought it was
waste
gonna be
to a
something
whole
like
bunch of
Conan.
enemies. Bats, lizard people, four-armed skeleton guys.
Kinda
all
reminds me of,
shall
like, Golden
fall
Axe.
to the might of
Golden Axe is much
Rastan.
more better.
It's fun, but it's hard, especially in level 2. If you die, you get sent back to the beginning, which is brutal. The sequel is Nastar, which is
Nastar.
Rastan spelled backward. Wait, no, it isn't. It's just
says
Rastan scrambled up. I mean, what kind of gimmick is that?
Should just
It
say
would be like
Master
making a sequel
Warrior.
to Mario Brothers and calling it Maroi Brothers. Anyway, this game's kind of lame compared to Rastan. It has cutscenes, but good luck reading dark blue text on a black background. Even when you can read it, it makes no sense. I have opened a fire? Huh? The best part of this game is when he jumps in the air and thrusts the sword downward, it looks like he's sawing his dick off.
Yeah, it does,
He is
doesn't it?
sawing his dick off. So the sequel to Rastan was lame, but one sequel that blows its original away is Elevator Action Returns.
Or is that like a
The original
shooter
Elevator
or
Action
something?
is a decent old school arcade game. You play as a secret agent
like a
moving
cop
through a
shooter.
building, collecting intel, moving down elevators, and fighting off enemies. You make it to your car and then speed off. Elevator Action Returns takes that concept and ramps it to 11. This game is
Okay.
awesome, with expansive levels that sprawl and change as you move through them, and tons of enemies to fight and different weapons to collect. You also get to play as 3 different characters, Cart Bradfield, Eddie Burritt, and Jad the Taff?
Jad the
the Taff? I mean, what does that
Jad the
mean?
Taff.
He's the Taff? So of course I become the Taff and blast everyone to hell. I love this airport level where you just crash a helicopter and come out shooting. Talk
I
about
like that.
making an entrance. Also, this transition between the exterior and interior of the plane is really neat. This game is mindless, but I love it and I played the shit out of it. Next on the list we have Curry Kinton. It's another weird one. You're a karate guy who rides in on a moped, shoots Hadoukens, and can meditate to make a shield. It
Oh,
looks neat,
okay.
but it's super repetitive. Well, we're getting down to the wire now. Only a few games left,
Oh,
but don't
thank
worry,
God.
I saved the most Taito-y Taito games for last. Taito's beat-em-ups are insane. Fuck games like Streets of Rage and Final Fight. They're not quirky and fucked up enough for a guy like me anymore. Taito has shown me the way. First, the Ninja Kids.
The Ninja
Imagine
Kids.
the TMNT arcade game, but replace the Ninja Turtles with Sesame Street puppets who cut people in half and fight motherfucking Satan, and you have the Ninja Kids.
Oh,
Wait, I'm
pretty
sorry.
badass.
The Satan. It has some
Satan.
interesting shit.
Just
I
up as a
especially like
banana.
the boss fight against the werewolf. The moon acts as the enemy's life bar, which is a neat touch. Dungeon magic is pretty neat too. It's a fantasy-themed beat-em-up with branching paths and a ton of items and weapons to collect. It's at an isometric view, which gets kind of annoying when you're trying to hit enemies at an angle. Arabian Magic kind of reminds me of Golden Axe, if all the characters
Golden
just
Axe,
shit their
yes.
pants and were
I love
walking around
Golden
with
Axe.
anus gravy caked in their cracks. You can unleash a genie to attack enemies and even get new ones from bosses you beat. It's your average arcade beat-em-up. Growl, however, is anything but average. How so? Well, you play as Hulk Hogan and Indiana Jones.
What?
This game is Taito as fuck.
You can't
It
be
takes
fucking
place in the early
serious.
20th century, but has a ton of weapons that weren't invented
Hulk
until the
Hogan,
late 20th
Jesus.
century. The mission is to save animals from an army of evil shitbag poachers. What's actually cool is that there aren't many level breaks. Other than a lava cave
wonder
you
if
go
Hulk
into,
Hogan
all the
approved of
levels
this.
are
What
part
if
of a
he was
long-ass
involved?
background
He
that
got a
scrolls.
paycheck for this.
Every time you put a coin in the game, it goes, "Hey, come on!"
Hey, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, come on!
I enter coins just to hear this. It sounds great. After you lay waste to hundreds of animal-hating fuckfaces, you face the evil king of
Oh,
the poachers, who
damn,
turns
look
out
at
to be
that.
a giant alien worm.
Jesus.
See? I told you this game was Taito as fuck. You kill him, and all the animals come to hang out. This game is hilarious,
That's pretty cool.
weird, good fun. And that's kind of what I'm here for now. If it wasn't weird, I'd be pissed. Okay, so here we go. Here it comes. This is by far, without a doubt, the Taitoist of all Taitos on Taito Legends.
please let it be good.
is Violence Fight.
Violence fight.
From
Fighting
the
is
very
violence.
beginning,
Why call it
this game
violence
has
fight?
already given me more material to talk about in just this text wall than any game ever could.
Damn.
In the early part of the 1950s in the USA, a game called Violence Fight was in
Violence Fight.
vogue among mafia, reckless drivers, and general businessmen. The Violence Fight was the game to struggle for, number one quarreler with fighters who were gathered from all parts of the USA, speaking boastingly of their strength. And of course, a lot of winning money as well, as the honor were given to the winner.
What is this
Here
Hong
in
Kong
a
97
downtown
bullshit?
in LA, a young fighter Bat and his manager Blinks seek for the winning money eagerly. As a matter of fact, can Bad take the number one place in the USA? Wait, they spelled his name two different ways?
What?
Is it Bad or Bat? Yeah, here you go. His name is Bat Blue.
Bat Blue.
Like Labatt Blue? Maybe he's a Canadian beer fan. Wait, no, it's Bad Blue on the character select. Make up your mind.
Yeah,
He's
the
the
game
main
doesn't
character.
seem-
You can't decide what his name is.
Oh, that's a
Lick
bad start.
Joe?
Lick Joe?
His name is Lick Joe. I'm
Jesus.
sorry, Bad Blue or Bat Blue or Labatt Blue. I'm going to have to pick Lick Joe. Okay, let's get into the
Joe.
game. Okay, I'm sorry. Lick Joe. Lick Joe. Hey,
We're gonna be
everybody.
licking
Who
Joe.
wants to lick Joe?
Who wants to play
fuck
Lick
names
Joe?
like Ryu and Ken, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Lick motherfucking Joe. All right, that's the best name I ever heard. So anyway, according to his bio, he killed 13 wrestlers during playing. What kind of wrestling promotion lets a guy wrestle after killing 13 wrestlers? Why is he not in jail? Instead, he's allowed to be in the Violence Fight? Well, I mean, it is the Violence Fight. Oh my God, it controls like ass. It's kind of like an even shittier version of Pit Fighter. But you know what? It's got Lick Joe,
Lick
and that
Joe.
more than makes up for it. Between matches,
It's all right,
you get this
everybody,
awful
it's Lick
art of the
Joe.
character and their manager. It's kind of like the taunting screens in Street Fighter, but in Violence Fight, it's fucked to shit. Sammy you? What is that
Sammy
supposed
you?
to
What
mean? Sammy,
Sammy
you?
you. What's that mean?
Sammy you? Is it trying to say that Sammy is you, or it's just saying Sammy to you, like fuck you? Oh, I've been wasting my time with
have
curse
no
words
idea.
like shit, fuck and ass and bitch. But Taito comes along into my life and shows me the real way, the real Mac Daddy of curse words. No, instead of fuck you, I'm saying Sammy you. Hey, yeah. Sammy you salmon mother Sammier. Every time you hit an enemy, these weird words show up like Dagoon and Bogun and Goon.
Why?
Is it like the sound the hits make? Like an onomatopoeia, which is a weird word in itself. But anyway, what the fuck sound is Dagoon? Imagine if you were watching the 60s Batman, and every time someone gets hit, instead of saying bam, pow, or biff, it said Dagoon, Bogon, and
sense.
Goon. Seriously, I can't praise this game enough. It's comedic genius. I mean, you could have the funniest comedians of all time write for years and never come close to the perfection that is Violence Fight. Why are you fighting a tiger? What the fuck is score a point over? Why are the Twin Towers in the background of 1950s Los Angeles? Violence Fight. That's fucking why. The first rule of Violence Fight is you talk about Violence Fight. Fuck Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or any of these other fighting games on next-gen consoles. No! I want fucking Violence Fight!
This game... Could be worse, it could be Slippin' Jimmy. Yeah. That's the name you could have. Slippin' Jimmy. Better Call Saul.
Well, that's Taito Legends. There was some good, some bad, some ugly, and then there was Violence Fight. But I gotta end this because this was a marathon.
Yeah,
68 games over those 2 discs, and if you count Legend of Kage on NES, that was 69 games reviewed this month.
Damn.
69, dudes!
69 terrible games. Well, congratulations to him for playing all those terrible goddamn games. I bet you only played those games for an hour each. Is the goddamn way he was playing those. But yeah, that was quite interesting. The weird thing with all those games is that it's too much. It's too many games, and that's what I would say is that it's too overwhelming. If I would be playing those games, I would not be playing those games. Absolutely not. It's the thing with those compilation game discs, and you got like, oh, you got like 50 games on one disc. How awesome is that? The problem with that is most of the games are going to suck, and you're barely going to get like 8 games that are truly good, and the rest of them are going to suck. You're not really going to have the best 50 games on there. So unfortunately, that's always going to be the case. But yeah, that was Taito Legends for the PlayStation 2. That was totally awesome. And some of those games sucked. Some of them looked pretty good. Some of them were just arse. Some of them was really, really bad. Some of them didn't make any sense at all. But you know what? Why? Fuck it. Why not? Why does anything have to make sense anymore? Why did LGN have to make so many goddamn games? Why did LGN have to stamp their rainbow of death on every game? Why? Why are we here? Why are we playing LGN games? No. Oh god, I got that goddamn rainbow stuck in my goddamn head from that first reaction video we did. Oh god, no, that dummy crash thing. Oh, that fucking rainbow is still burnt into my fucking retina. God, no, please no, get rid of that rainbow. It could have been worse. It could have been Taito, LGN, the Legends, or LGN Legends, where, holy shit, I hope to god this never happens. Compile every LJN into one compact disc. That would be absolutely fucking scary. If the LJN did that, if they released every single game, every LJN game they've released, and put it on a disc, a compact disc for the nerd to play, that will be truly hell on earth. That will be the shit sprinkles of life. But yeah, let's not go into that because that's traumatizing. That's a horrible, horrible image. I don't think that the universe could handle such power. It would tear the fabric of space and time. having all the worlds aligned. I'm like, having every LJN game aligned on the same compact disc. That would destroy the fabric of time and space. It would cause a fucking black hole. I mean, it would rip and destroy everything in its path. I truly mean it. Do not get every LJN game and put it on one compact disc. It would truly break time in the fabric of space. Don't do it. It will destroy the universe. But yes, it was this was pretty good. I like this. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.